Welcome to Vision, the show about the College of Arts and Sciences. And even though school has just started for many of those, it isn't too early to start thinking about the next year. And so I'm joined here by Hannah Bateman, the admissions coordinator for the College of Arts and Sciences. Welcome to the show, Hannah.
Thank you for having me.
People may be surprised. We just started this semester. How can it be time to apply? Tell us a little bit about the process if somebody wants to be a new Bulldog.
Yes, so you can go to apply.msstate.edu and you fill out a general application. You pay a $40 application fee and you're in the process of being admitted. Typically, we get back with students to let them know they've been admitted within about a week or two. At the beginning, it took about 3 or 4 weeks because we had so many students apply. But the reason we want students to apply is because scholarships are such a big, they're so important. And the deadline for scholarships for freshman-only applications is December 1st.
Now, I know you get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions about the scholarship process. How do you simplify that for parents and future students?
So we have this really good thing called Academic Works now, and it's just a scholarship portal that students can access through their MyState account, and it's super simple. All they have to do is go in and fill in a general scholarship questionnaire about their leadership and extracurricular activities, and then they have to fill out whatever pertains to their major. They'll answer a few questions about their academics, but other than that, it's super simple, and then they're automatically in the system for scholarships.
And then it does the pairing for you, right? So it's
Yes.
not like before when you had to seek them out and find ones
Right.
that fit, right?
If students are eligible for a scholarship, they're automatically pulled into a pool, and then we continue the awarding process from that pool of students.
And we, of course, love Mississippi State and believe
Yes.
everybody should be a Bulldog. What would you say is the #1 selling point that you tell parents and students?
Definitely that Mississippi State is a family. I mean, it's not a lie. You hear that from alumni, from current students, just from people in the community. And we really do try to express that to people, that this is not, something we're just saying for people to come to Mississippi State. This is something we truly believe in, and this is something we want students to come join the family. We have a great campus, great professors that, really truly engage in the family atmosphere, and it just makes for an overall great family atmosphere.
What would you say is the #1 question you get from parents?
I would say it is, this is a tough one. So,
Or maybe you get a lot of questions.
yes, I will say, I graduated from Mississippi State in 2016, and the #1 question I get is, what was your experience? And this is something that helps me because I was a graduate at Mississippi State, and I'm able to say everything I'm saying is my personal experience. It's something that I know to be true, and that helps me in the process of recruiting students.
Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. I'm glad you brought that up. Being a Bulldog yourself and now working for the place that
Yes.
provided your education, what made you want to become an admissions coordinator for the college?
The best way I can say that this has impacted my decision to be full-time is that I want to spread the love that Mississippi State has to offer people. And this is all across the country and even the world. We have tons of international students come, and this is something I truly want to share with everybody, the love that Mississippi State has to offer them.
Now, students, I'm sure it's difficult. They're making a lot of different choices for personal reasons. What would you say students should look at as they're doing the application process? And they're applying to different schools as well, right?
Right. Our motto is, if we can get them to campus and get them to personally experience the campus life, seeing how professors interact with students, we have sold them to come to Mississippi State. It is evident that people here love this university, and we just want the students to get here and see it for themselves.
Now, remind me those deadlines, and then when is it too late for the next academic year?
So applications to become a Bulldog open August 1st.
Okay.
If you want to be eligible for freshman scholarships, you have to have your application completed by December 1st. But if you aren't concerned with that as much, you can apply to be a Bulldog up until the first day of class for the fall 2018 semester.
Okay. And you mentioned campus visits.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts on the importance of that and how that can be scheduled.
It is easily scheduled. You go to visit.msstate.edu. It is a way that they can get on the website and see, a little bit about what they're going to do. They get a really good presentation from the admissions office. Then they get to actually meet with current students and they get to meet with professors, and it's something that really opens their eyes to what we're doing here. We truly encourage everyone to visit Mississippi State. It's one way, you know, like I say over and over again, that they can truly engage in the experience.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
when we come back, we are going to look at some actual student experiences. So once you become a Bulldog, how you can actually get very active in your major.
We all depend on accurate weather forecasts to plan our day. That's why Mississippi State University is teaching students to forecast the future using real-world news sets as classrooms, putting scientific discoveries in meteorology to the test, while honing on-air reporting skills real-time with local TV stations. And we do it so well that at any given moment across the country, 1 in 3 weather forecasts are being delivered by MSU-trained meteorologists who are helping people make crucial decisions that impact their safety, working to ensure business continuity, and in many cases, saving lives. Predicting the future? That's what we're preparing for every single day, so that you can prepare for your day. Everyone remembers their favorite teddy bear, the reassuring love of their first puppy. They comforted us and made us laugh. For children battling abusive situations or post-traumatic stress disorder, the memories aren't as pleasant. That's why at Mississippi State University, we're pioneering a robotic technology that brings healing to those exposed to traumatic situations. Known as Therabot, MSU's robotic beagle includes lifelike features that allow it to move in ways that are both natural and nurturing. Its ultimate goal? To bridge the gap between 2 types of effective therapy, using real animals and their plush counterparts for emotional assistance. At MSU, we're proud to be changing the game in therapeutic recovery, even prouder to be putting lives back together again.
Welcome back. And we talked about becoming a student at Mississippi State, but I think too, students don't realize the wonderful opportunities we have here for engagement within majors, and even if you're not a major. I'm joined by Dr. Shane Miller with the Department of Anthropology and Middle Eastern Cultures. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we were talking about some of the wonderful things that you have been doing with students, and are these all just majors within your department, or can other students engage in these activities too?
I get students from all over in a variety of different majors. So the bulk of students who come and do field work with me and work in the lab with me, they're mostly anthropology majors who have an emphasis in archaeology. So they actually are tired of reading about the stuff in books. They want to see the stuff, touch the stuff, analyze the stuff, and use that to begin asking and answering questions about the past. But I've had history majors. I've had actually an interior design major. And so she took my introduction to archaeology class and thought that, hey, this would be a fun elective to take to actually go out and do field work. And so she came out and had a blast. So she's actually working in an interior design firm somewhere in Birmingham, but you know, it's a fun experience nonetheless.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because you don't realize that other majors can also learn a great deal through archaeology.
So it's funny, like somebody like her who would be interested in how to actually create a space and then kind of impose like a modern sense of how I want to use space. Archaeologists in some sense are doing the inverse of that. We're trying to reverse engineer back out of the archaeological record how people may have been using a space. So it's kind of like the flip side of it. And so I tell my students that archaeologists were like the jack of all trades that kind of have to do a little bit of everything. So geoscientists, social scientists, a whole host of people would find interest in the things that we do.
And for the average student, take us away from the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
When we think of archaeology, how do you apply the learning so that they can see the real world application of archaeology?
So that's an in-depth question. So I guess the first step would be actually dispelling that notion that there's bullwhips and pistols and crystal skulls and all that stuff. And what happens whenever we get students out to do field work, they realize, the actual field work component of it is really hot, really sweaty.
Hard work.
Yeah, hard work. We worked this past year in Mississippi. So I had a few students that came from other universities who got exposed to a very humid heat.
Yeah.
And usually there's a sense of camaraderie of like, okay, I'm not going to let the weather get me down. And they begin excavating in their units, and before long you realize really how cathartic it is to dig a square hole. And before too long they pick up everything that an archaeologist has to do out from field work. And my philosophy has generally been that in order to understand how to do it, you have to do it. And so first day, basically, we're standing back and it's like, you guys, we're here to answer questions, we're here to direct you, but from here on, you guys are the ones digging, you guys are the ones finding the stuff, and you're the ones recording all the information. So that aspect of it is really the best place to get over that Indiana Jones-esque, perception of archaeology.
Yeah, it's not a glamour that it's hard work.
Yeah.
What would you say as a teacher, faculty member has been your biggest satisfaction taking students into the field?
My biggest satisfaction of it is actually whenever I get a student who has taken classes with me, a student who's done field work, and a student who has graduated on time, and I get a call from a contract archaeology firm or a state entity or something asking for a recommendation. And that is honestly that's the goal. Like hustling to get these kids jobs in archaeology. And so I tell all my students, my goal from when I started college to getting through is to get paid a livable wage to do something fun like archaeology. And knowing that I have students who are actually getting out there and getting that same experience, getting a nice job doing archaeology, that's pretty rewarding.
Very, very rewarding. And how would students get involved in some of these hands-on activities?
Well, first off, they can take an anthropology class, and that's generally where most people come in and get their foot through the door. We also have various projects going on in the Cobb Institute. And so if you're interested in doing some hands-on experiences or just seeing the facility, the Cobb Institute of Archaeology has an outreach coordinator. His name's Derek Anderson, and he is somebody to get in contact with.
Okay.
And so if not directly through one of the professors, through Derek Anderson, he's a pretty good resource over there as well.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
All right.
Great opportunities for students at Mississippi State. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.